To build levels of trust in a team, if you go back to the definition of trust, one of the good definitions is that trust is the residue of past promises kept. It's the residue of past promises kept. Now, if you have a brand new team and people are coming together for the first time and they start revealing who they are, you still don't necessarily have any past experience. But in my mind, when I think about building levels of trust, the behaviors that would really help to create that would be, one, sharing vulnerabilities would be huge. So when people get together, for everyone to have an understanding of what people perceive as their strengths, where they need to take their game up. Anything that they can do to create some type of sense of vulnerability, openness, so that people feel like they have a license to get into those areas, that will help to create the trust. I mean, as opposed to when you look at teams that work dysfunctionally, where there's a huge facade and people don't have authentic conversations. So in my mind, the deeper they can go to reveal, the greater likelihood they'll have to be able to create trust on the team. In fact, it's funny. I remember years ago we were there was a merger between an Australian company and a French company. And so we were heavily involved in these two companies had actually been in competition with one another for a very long time. And so we collected data, and when we were processing the data, we said to the individual, what's the message you read from the data? And the person said, well, there is a huge lack of trust. And I said, well, how long do you think it'll take to help to build back trust? And he said, well, I don't know. It's been a very long time since we've been at each other's throats. So I said to the leader, and that was about 8 a.m. in the morning, I said, how long are you going to give them to create trust? And he looked at his watch and he said, how about 3 p.m.? And the person said, okay. Now, the punchline there is that you're paid to trust. You're paid to exhibit those behaviors. So as opposed to making it something amorphous, trust really becomes something that should be implicit as soon as you're part of that team. And a lot of people don't get that. And so that you can wait till the end of time to wait for the evidence you need to see. So that, in my mind, the further in a leader can go to create a situation where people can actually convey, this is what trust looks like for me, this is what I need to see, what I need to observe, that would really begin to cement it, rather than just have it stand out there as some amorphous thing that people are waiting to hit them like a meteorite, because that doesn't happen that way. Yeah, there are exercises that managers can take on to build trust. The only thing I would caution, though, is some of them you don't want to try at home, because you can't easily facilitate your own team. But some of the things they can do, even over lunch or at the end of a meeting. But they could ask people, what do they perceive as their key strengths, and have people go around, where do they see their areas of development? In order for me to feel good about you as a coworker, this is what I need to see. This is what my aspirations are. So you can do very quick sentence completion exercises and ask provocative questions, and that will start giving people a three-dimensional view of who they're operating with. And then that starts to create a higher level of intimacy, which is what you want.